Live. It's 11:34. It's September 5th. I just stepped off the desk. Figured I would do a little bit of a midday recap. I know yesterday the charts were a little cut off. Please read the disclosures, and then we'll get right into it. So good morning. Hope everyone's doing all right. Definitely a very interesting day. Lots of opportunity. Let me get this to lean down a little bit here. Nope, that's not the way to do it. We are live. We are in the T3 Live office. Let's see, maybe. Okay, it's not the best angle in the world, but again, it's not a fashion show or a beauty contest. Little close up, but with that said, here we are. Yesterday we gapped up and had a pretty strong day. Those of you who are on Red All Access, I basically said I think yesterday's a little different than Friday. On Friday we had a gap up after 3 days, and it just felt like we would. It'd be tough to get through resistance there, so it was a good fade. So yesterday I was like, you know what? I don't think we should be fading the move. We should get involved long. And even on the public Twitter sphere, I talked about the strategy to buy Amazon, Twitter, Apple, all the ones that I went with, besides trading other names. Yesterday I went over a bunch of them, and updated them midday, but the charts were a little off, so I don't know who exactly watched it or not. But this is how it looks. I do a morning call every day around, what time do I do it? About 8 o'clock, and it gets viewed at 8:30. It goes out with my note, and I go over 15 to 25 names, and I post 15 to 20 stocks. And yes, a lot of them are high beta tech names, but usually it's the IPOs, usually it's the names that move. I try and do a little bit of everything. I do like to be long when the market's acting well, but I also do short extreme situations with a plan, very methodically. So with that said, let's just get to where we are now. If you look here at the chart of, this is what is this? This is the these are the spies. Okay, so this was the range we were in, for the majority of August, and then finally we closed on our highs. It would have been nice to open flat and buy the spies through this 294.20, but it didn't happen. That's why you had to take some risk overnight. This gap held from the prior day, showing some power. This gap got filled. This was Monday. Remember, I also talked about how will we hold the top third of last week's range in order to show some commitment, and from the red dog reversal here when it went below 286.03 and reclaimed it, to resistance on Friday that just was too far too fast on the holding the top third of this move. So that showed some commitment. So, one thing I talk about in like regular Ultimate Access and some of the seminars is active sequences. There are lots of active sequences that as an active trader you could take advantage of with swing positions based on whether it's an active sequence to the downside where you have to get out of things and maybe try and hold some puts or some shorts, or an active sequence to the upside. And then you measure the start of it, and everything has to start a particular way. So this started with a red dog reversal here, from 294 all the way down. Finally it pushed below these two pivots, couldn't get below it and stay below it, and actually rallied up, gave you a follow through the second day, and then gave you a third day into resistance, which was definitely take some profits off, not everything. And then Monday it proved that it could hold the top third of the range. So right now we're seeing some commitment to this. Yesterday kind of confirmed that we're still in play. Some stocks acted strong, some leaders perked up, and then today you had your gap up through resistance one. So I posted this chart. I think I did on the public one also, and right below resistance 2. So right now the high of the day is now 298.83. So we could take this out for now to adjust, because as we get points of reference throughout the day, we could definitely adjust and trade accordingly. 298.83 is doesn't need to be that big, is now today's high. I actually faded it like 298.60. I started to short it just thinking that 299-ish would be pretty big resistance. But anyway, and now this turns into your support because it's the gap pivot. So 296.31. So this gets put away. It's now 296.31. And oops, where'd it go? Okay, then that's your new point of reference. So it is now 11:39, September 5th, midday, and we have two new points of reference to trade against. Okay, we have another gap. Okay, so the chances are, will this hold this gap to have power? This is now irrelevant. It's a pretty big gap. Some people say all gaps have to get filled. That's not true. Some do, some don't. But if it holds above this gap now for the majority of today, that's what you trade against. And then if it happens to go sideways for a few days, to digest this big gap up, then this will turn into a pivot if it gets above it. And then all of a sudden, here's your all-time high. You had this gap here, it went up, and then it filled it, okay, a day later. But this one didn't get filled, so that showed you continuation power. So anyway, we'll see what happens here. This range is now resolved. It's not off to the races. Some things act better than others. You still have to be selective. The Qs are participating, which is a good thing. It took out this 191, so that's no longer relevant. It came into this resistance around where it broke that trend, so this no longer is a way to navigate. This was your navigation point prior when it broke this. So now this really is just, kind of shaded area that doesn't need to be there. But you did have these lows here, okay? Support turns into resistance at times. So that's what this is. I don't know what I just did here. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. Remove. Okay, good. And now what do you have here? You have points of reference, don't you? Here is now your new gap. So we'll see, does it hold above this? I like to be like a little bit of an artist. This is so you're getting like a little education also. I go through this. This now is 190.34. That is your point of reference to trade against. As long as we hold this gap, the active bulls are in extreme control. It might test it a few times the next few days or not. You now have, what's it called? I don't know why that thing is on here. Oh, here we go. You now have this point of reference up here, which it didn't get to. But you also have the morning high now. The morning high is 192.33. So this 191-ish is gone. This now turns into 192. What did I just say? 33. And now you'll see, how does this develop? Do we hang in here a few days and then take this out and go back to highs? Or does it open down tomorrow if all of a sudden the jobs day report or whatever isn't as strong as it was today? So anyway, this is now your new gap, and we are out of this lower channel. So we'll see, does it stay out or does it get choppy and fail? At this point, though, yesterday, when you got back above the moving averages, it was much more compelling, or what's the word? Constructive, no. Prudent to be out of shorts, because remember, below moving averages you're tactical, above the moving averages you're trying to either be not short and maybe long, and that's why I had some long. So anyway, let's get into them. What did Red Dog have? Tuesday I talked to you guys about RBC, how they upgraded Amazon. So that's when I bought Amazon the first time, and Amazon right now is looking pretty strong. It's cleared this 1830 resistance. I bought it on this day. I actually added to it on this day. And now what's the high here? The high here is of the day 1836.57. Here is 1838, which is the probably going to be some resistance, which is the 50-day. But then, there's really not much else for a bit of time. This was, remember, the gap down after earnings. Then it broke that post-earnings pivot low, which got you out of the way. And now it's finally, perking up. And you actually even have a gap here to show that there's, some power. So I am in some stock by itself, and I'm also in some stock that I sold some calls, which helps me hold it. So if you buy the stock and you sell calls out a week and you get 25 points to sit and hold it, you don't knock nickel and dime yourself as much. So anyway, I'm in some stock. I've sold some calls against it just for tomorrow. So if all of a sudden Amazon closed here, when I bought some of the stock around 1800, I sold the 1850s for $9. So I'm like, okay, if it gets to the 1830 area, that's $30, $30 30 points on however many shares. So on tomorrow it'll take some of my stock and it'll deliver it to the 1815 calls, and that'll be out. I also have some other stock, and I have the 1830s for next Friday that collected premium, and I have some free that I could just buy and sell. So that's how I'm doing it. I feel comfortable enough that, that I could sit in it for now with the way the market is. It'd have to be a pretty damn weak market or some bad news to all of a sudden get this back into this range, considering, we're not at all-time highs. We're not even here. We're just coming back up off the lows when the S&P itself is actually, very close to it. So I do like when Amazon is leading better than when it's lagging, but, it was a good trade. I also got an Apple. Apple also is not leading, but it's a little bit better, I would say, technically, for now. It is off highs. Told you this morning listed a chart to to the public also, saying there's room to about 214, which was here. And where did it go to when as high as 213.97? And now the question is, will Apple be special and hold above this, new gap, or will it have to, play around, which Apple does at times? And if you're not that committed to it, I would say now your stop could be the low of the day, 211.87. So make this into 211.87. I sold some. I have less Apple than I had overnight, but I'm still in some, and we'll see how it reacts later. This is now a new, resistance area. So the longer it stays above it, next time it gets to this 214, if it gets to the 214, maybe it's buyable there. Where is it now? 212.79. Yeah, so it's a little bit off those highs. Actually, yeah, a little bit more than it probably should be, but we'll see. I'm also in Twitter, which I sent you a tweet, I think Monday or Tuesday about it, and about the potential breakout. And although it had a push through failure, and if you would have got out, you had time to get back in. And now look at it, boom, breakout. This day was tricky, but then you had more than enough time to get involved on this day, which I showed and went over yesterday. And now here you are at highs. I listed this chart this morning as a follow-up. Why can't this thing get to 47? It definitely can. This was what I wrote. Twitter looks great technically. It wasn't affected by the news of outages. I'm long, and we'll see. It has a cleaner move above 43.75, which was what this pivot was, and now here we are at what, 44.50. Nice move. Technically above all the moving averages. While the market was in corrective mode, it never went below the 21. That's why we use moving averages, and we try and turn the damn TV set off so you don't listen to all the guys out there. Anyway, this is Twitter, and it could make its way there. You just have to use your tier system. Google acted very well, traded through this 1200, gapped up above this this 1189. I did not trade it. Has room now to probably this 1228ish area where you had the post earnings low. How high did it get? It got as high as 1213. Wow. So that's looking better, above this pocket pivot, above the moving averages. So this active sequence is now still intact, and we'll see if it can go further. Let me see where Amazon is again. Hasn't quite got to that spot. I'm just looking at it because I want to reduce right into that 1838 and change if it gets there, but it's not there yet. Anyway, let's see what my language was on Amazon. Amazon, I went long on Tuesday in the 1790 area. I'm still long some, but also sold some 1850 calls. So you got to read the language. Basically, I give you full disclosure on everything that I'm doing pretty much. Some people are like, oh, you just tell me when your sells are. Oh, when did you buy it? Or, oh, when did you short it? You know what? It's in the language of the chart. Or I went over it in my note, or I went over it in my morning call or recap and read the all access. Sometimes it doesn't, filter all the way out into the public sphere. But anyway, that's still looking good. Netflix is definitely the stepchild. Netflix, oh, wow, look at that. Bigger red dog reversal. Holy cow, I missed that. Went below this 286.51, now came back above it. So this could be a bottom for Netflix as I'm talking. Obviously went down 7 and now it's up 4, so you'll be chasing it on the size of the day. On the daily candle, you're not chasing it, but all in all, in the intraday candle, you're probably chasing it if you look at the intraday. Wow, look at that move. First, look at this. If you want to, just do a little chart lessons intraday. Here was your lower consolidation. Here's your low, here's a higher low. This is when it cleared this lower level pivot. Boom, really big move. Then what did it do? Came back and tested this area and held it. Went back up to the prior high. Everyone's like, oh, look at that double top. No, higher low. And then here you go again. Wow, I did not trade that. I was too busy with all my other stuff, but looking better. So congratulations if you caught that. I did not. But this is a little, day trading 101. Sometimes they say you could trade versus a 5-minute low, a 15-minute low, a 30-minute low, just so you get a point of reference to use as your gauge. Well, this low was put in when? 9:33, so this is not even your 5-minute low. So it gave you no pain if you weren't in overnight to grab it. And now it's above this prior consolidation. So, today could be your reversal day on Netflix. I'm not in it. I'm sitting here talking to you and doing this midday report at 11:49. Let's continue. Go back to 1 year. There it is. I was talking about work. Remember, I just said 5, 15, 30-minute low. I was like, you know what? Now that earnings are out of the way and it's at a new post low, see if there's a 5, 15, 30-minute low to buy, or if it reclaims the low of its existence, which has been, I don't know, 3, 4 months. And both things happen pretty methodically. So maybe you made some money there. Wow, look at that. So 27.91 was the pivot. Here's your resistance, your downtrend that we drew. Works report wasn't special and it's down 12%. We had a nice options play prior. I might see if it's viable versus a 5, 15, 30-minute low, which is a strategy. It means you're looking for a reactionary low after maybe some kind of over-exaggeration, or if it reclaims 27.91, which was right here, and that's what it, that's what it did. And it reclaimed this. So now, it's looking pretty darn good now. So anyway, that's work. If you want to look at the intraday, so you can see when that happened also, you go to the 1 day. Some guys on the VTF were fantastic. They're like, oh, Red Dog, I'm buying it around 26. I'm like, why 26? It's like, that's where it was listed. I was like, oh, PS, so this made the low here at 9:35. This is your 5-minute low. Came off your 5-minute low, so maybe you're buying it versus the 5-minute low because now you know where it is. So you can say, oh, I'm going to buy 26.30 versus 26 because now you're risking 30 cents on something that's coming from 42 since everyone was ranting and raving on it about it on CNBC. And then it consolidated and took off right here. Boom. And then took back that 27.91 right there. Okay, now look at the size of the move. Okay, and now it's, I guess, coming off the highs a little bit. But all in all, nice little strategy. And it wasn't Amazon, Google, Facebook, Twitter. It was one of the IPOs. And I do have an IPO corner where I go over 6, 7, 8, 9 of the IPOs each day. And every day I'll focus on one or two based on what's happening. Some people say also, Red Dog never shorts. I do short when it's really compelling. I'm pretty good at catching inflection points also when I see people are in pain for 3 or 4 days. And I'm like, now I feel like we could trade around it. So I did that with Roku. Yesterday, I shorted some, where was it, 168. So I was a little underwater. Today, it was up $5. I don't hide under my desk, so Red All Access, I tweeted to them and said, hey, I added more Roku at 172.50. I still have my puts from yesterday from when I bought them like 166, and I'm like, I'm going to give it space. I came in here to do the morning call. All of a sudden, I see my phone lighting up. Oh, did you see Roku went red? I'm like, oh, let me go back, and I covered some. So then I tweeted, Red All Access said I covered some of the Roku. I shorted at 172 and change because it was now down $4 just to be careful, and then took the trade off below 165, and Roku ended up being a really nice trade. And I don't do it often, but this was out of control already to me. I didn't short it here. I didn't, short it there or there and roll it up. It was just, okay, now look how extended it is from the 8 day. So I figured I could trade around it with a plan, and that's what this was. This was the plan. Look at that, and this is from the morning. I already added at 172.60-ish, which is where I added pre-morning call here. So anyway, now this is where it is. So at this point, see what's going to happen. Maybe it flags. Maybe it comes down to the 8 day, which was down here. Now it's moving up. Let's get rid of this. And that's that. So now we'll see if there's a little bit of a bull flag, or does it come down to here. I probably should have stayed short some just to do it, but I wanted to show that you could do a day and a half short and still be good. Like, who knows, maybe we'll see how it closes. I'll take some, but at this point, I just caught. It's a cute trade. It's too strong. So when you're cute, you better be cute fast. Like here, it was a cute trade too. You had about 3, 4 days before going again. So this is probably going to take its time now, so it kind of needs a little rest. So with that said, it's 11:53. I have a meeting at 1. I got to get going. Hopefully this midday video helped. Hopefully some of the charts that I posted on the public Twitter sphere helped. I post about 15 to 20 in Red All Access. I post 2 to 3 in the public, but I always post a chart of the S&P to give you guys a blueprint. So hopefully help you with your day. And with that said, I wish everyone the best, and I will see RAA at the recap, and see you guys on the other side as well. Bye-bye.